Sound of Freedom review. All right, it is very late, and I just got back from watching a super packed 11:30 p.m. showing of The Sound of Freedom, and I think it was super crowded because it was discount $5 Tuesday, but still, the whole thing was full. It's taken me quite a while to watch this movie, mostly because I was building up the emotional courage to watch it because I know the content that it's about, and I didn't know if I could handle it, so I've kind of been psyching myself up to finally go watch it. So obviously, I agree with the message of the movie, anti-human trafficking. Of course, if you don't agree with that, that's that's not good. But I had some major questions about the quality of the movie itself. So I took some notes here. So one question was, is it going to feel like a Christian slash Hallmark movie, which unfortunately end up being really cheesy and stiff and usually bad acting? Um, Answer to that is no, not at all. Um, and religion plays a very small part in the movie, so it doesn't feel like a cheap, poorly acted Hallmark movie. So that was one question I had. Okay, and this is actually a question I was really worried about. Am I gonna feel like the child actors were compromised during the making of the movie? So whether they were or not, my question was, am I gonna feel that way, and is it gonna ruin the movie for me? My answer is not really. I mean, there's definitely some scary stuff in the movie towards kids, with kids on screen in frame with other scary things, but I think they did it in a tasteful kind of Hitchcock kind of a way where you know what's going to happen and you know what's been happening, but I feel like the child actors were safe the whole time. So that was a concern that I actually had, and it ended up not being warranted. And then my remaining questions were it's kind of like a group of questions. One is, what is all the fuss about? The other is it any good, like as a movie? Or is it just big because people agree with the message and they're getting all passionate and sharing it? So the answers to those questions are kind of tied together as well. Yeah, it's good as a movie. It's actually a good movie. I I hate to say that I'm surprised at that because I do love Jim Caviezel, but you just never know what you're gonna get with independent movies. It was a good movie. It was actually a good movie through and through. And then, yes, I think it is successful because of the message. At the end of the movie, they have a QR code during the credits, and they encourage you to scan it so that you can share the movie. So absolutely, I think it's successful because of the unique marketing, and then also they're kind of getting you on the emotional sell of the movie. Emotions sell. Any person who's done any sales or been pitched knows that you buy on emotions. So I think that is part of the success. But it is actually a good movie, and it's a good message anti-human trafficking. So I think there's kind of a combination of the unique marketing, the good message, and then the fact that it's actually a good movie, and Jim Caviezel's awesome. So I would definitely recommend going to watch it. I mean, you could go see it for free if you don't want to pay for it. Um, but go on a discount Tuesday or whatever. Anyway, I'd recommend it. So just more a little talk about the technical side of the movie. I thought the pacing was really good. Like it never ever slowed down. The editing was great. The acting was good. The only actor was weird was Jim Caviezel's partner at the beginning of the movie was felt a little Hallmark movie-ish, but 100% of the rest of the movie had great acting, which I was surprised about. Not from Jim Caviezel because he's a great actor, but I was surprised that everyone else did a good job. And the musical choices were really good. They were definitely like, this song will pull their heartstrings. So it definitely felt like it was like trying to get to your emotions with the music, but it all actually fit really well. If you notice the mess all over my shirt, it's because I've been holding a little baby and he totally slimed me. I didn't realize that, but I wear that proudly because I love my kids. So the pacing and style of this movie, it's definitely not an action movie. It's more like a thriller. I felt like I was watching like a modern day noir detective movie. Honestly, I felt like I was reading a detective book or watching a detective movie, but just in a very modern and um, scary subject matter. One thing that I did like about the movie being independent is I felt like they could just show us what they wanted to. It didn't feel like it had been through kind of the studio committee writing. Like when they showed certain things, and I was like, oh, this would not fly in a Hollywood movie. I'm not going to say what they are, but I felt like I was watching. It was almost like how movies used to be, where you were watching somebody's vision that they were trying to show you. So I appreciated that. I felt like it was kind of like an older, like '90s, '80s movie where you didn't feel like everything was so filtered. Just a little bit more on Jim Caviezel's performance. So a lot of people have been saying he just kind of grumbles and moans and cries and stuff, but it was a very subdued performance. But subdued doesn't mean that it wasn't really good. So if you think of Brad Pitt's performance in Ad Astra, I would say that's a subdued but really good performance. So I'd say Jim Caviezel in this was pretty subdued but very powerful and very nuanced, and there's a lot of close-ups so you can just watch his face, like little twitches, little tears. Jim Caviezel did incredible in acting. And if I didn't think the Oscars were totally stupid, I think he would totally could possibly be nominated for an Oscar or some other acting award that's not stupid now. Okay, a couple of the hot button topics of this movie are conspiracies and look at my notes, accuracy. So let me just say this regarding conspiracy. Who cares? Human trafficking is real. The movie doesn't go into anything beyond that, and human trafficking is real. So I don't see the connection. And then as far as accuracy goes, this movie is not a documentary. It's a movie. It's based on a real event, so there's some dramatized moments. So again, who cares? So that's what I think on those two topics. I mean, there was an actual human trafficking ring broken up in my hometown just a couple years ago. So it's real and it's close and it's everywhere. I've been required to take trainings on human trafficking every single year for about the last 10 years. So, I mean, it's a real thing. It's not a conspiracy. I don't think that's exactly what they're talking about with the conspiracy, but that's as far as I'm going to go into it. And I'm just going to say, who cares? And the movie doesn't go into anything beyond what I just said. Actually, someone that I grew up with in my neighborhood actually fights human trafficking for his job or nonprofit or whatever he does, but kind of cool. So I knew there was going to be a special message at the end by Jim Caviezel, and I was like, oh man, is this going to be cringy? Is it going to be cheesy? Like, what's it going to be? I've heard some people making fun of it. Actually, a timer starts on the screen that's like, special message in 2 minutes. Every single person in the completely full theater stayed. I was surprised most people take off after the movie. It was fine. He's just like, we need to fight human trafficking. This movie is like, stories are powerful and stories can change things. I'm slaughtering it. Anyway, it wasn't cringy. And he puts up a QR code and he's like, here, go share it, pay for someone else's ticket. So there's that unique marketing and then the emotional buying to get people in there. But it was fine. The message was fine. Overall, I'm really glad I watched it. I went by myself to the theater and I would recommend it. Maybe not to people that just can't even absorb the story because they'd be so distracted with how horrible things are that happen to kids. Like, I wouldn't recommend it to my mom. But I think it's a good movie. And if it at all interests you, or if you like Jim Caviezel as an actor, he did it incredible in this movie. Or if you like a detective story, or if you want to learn more about the true events. I mean, again, it's not a documentary, but I thought it was good. I'm glad I saw it. And this doesn't sway my opinion at all, but this, I think, is the first movie that I have been in the credits at the end. So that was kind of cool, interesting, a little scary. Yeah, good show. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Don't get caught up in all the weird kind of hate going towards this movie. It's a good movie. So I sat in a freaking super sweaty fake leather comfy recliner watching it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. See you in the next one. Bye.